what really happens to women after 40, and why so many marriages don't survive. Something happens to women when they cross into their 40s that almost nobody is willing to talk about honestly. Not relationship counselors, not therapists, not daytime talk shows, not magazines, and certainly not her friends. Because talking about it honestly would mean admitting something deeply inconvenient, that modern women are not psychologically prepared for aging, and when that reality hits, families are often the collateral damage. One day, she's your wife. She's making breakfast, folding laundry, managing schedules, planning holidays, running the invisible labor of family life. Then, almost imperceptibly at first, something shifts. She becomes restless, irritable, distant, secretive. Her phone is suddenly guarded, gym sessions multiply, new clothes appear that never existed before. Selfies return after years of absence. Dating apps quietly get downloaded just to see. And you're standing there thinking, what the hell happened to the woman I married? Let me be very clear, because clarity is respect. This did not happen overnight. This is not rare, and this is not your imagination. This is biology colliding with modern culture, and most men are completely unarmed when it happens. The fatal myth men believe: time creates security. Men make one catastrophic assumption. They believe time equals loyalty. They think, we've been together 15 years. We raised kids. We built a life. She wouldn't do that. Brother, that belief will destroy you. Time does not create loyalty. History does not create loyalty. Children do not create loyalty. Identity creates loyalty. And when a woman's identity collapses, everything else becomes negotiable. Her value system was built on a countdown clock. From childhood, women are conditioned with a single, brutal message: your value is your desirability. Be pretty. Be wanted. Be chosen. Be admired. And for decades, this system works flawlessly, from adolescence through early adulthood. Men look, men chase, men pursue, men validate. She doesn't need internal confidence. The world constantly supplies it. Then biology intervenes. The attention slows, the compliments thin out, the stares disappear, and suddenly, something terrifying happens. She becomes ordinary. Ugly, not undesirable, just replaceable. And for a woman whose identity was built on being exceptional, that realization feels like death. This is not vanity. Identity collapse. Men often mislabel this as insecurity or narcissism. It's not. This is what happens when a person's self-worth was externally fueled for decades and the supply suddenly dries up. Imagine a man whose entire identity is strength becoming weak, or a provider losing his ability to earn. That's the level of existential panic happening internally. She doesn't feel less attractive, she feels less real. Why validation becomes a drug after 40. At 22, compliments are background noise. At 42, they are oxygen. One smile from a stranger, one comment from a coworker, one message from an old flame, and her brain lights up. Dopamine, relief, confirmation, proof she still matters. And here's the part men don't want to accept: your attention no longer registers. Because it's expected, it's guaranteed, it's obligated. You're the husband, the provider, the constant. But that random man, he chose her. And chosen attention is infinitely more intoxicating than loyal devotion. This is why married women over 40 are the easiest targets for seduction, not because they're evil, not because they're immoral, because they are starving for confirmation that they still exist. The exact moment the marriage enters the danger zone, the danger doesn't start with cheating, it starts with nostalgia. When she begins talking about her past with warmth instead of embarrassment, when ex-boyfriends are mentioned fondly, when old photos resurface, when she reminisces about who she used to be, that's not reflection, that's grief. She is mourning a version of herself that no longer exists, and grief always seeks replacement. Her brain is no longer wired for contentment. Here's the neurological reality nobody explains. The same emotional stimuli produce weaker chemical responses over time. What once felt exciting now feels flat. What once felt romantic now feels routine. What once felt meaningful now feels invisible. Your consistency? Her brain experiences it as boredom. Your reliability? Her nervous system experiences it as numbness. She needs more stimulation to feel anything at all, and you, stable, predictable, familiar, are neurologically unexciting. That's why betrayals after 35 are colder and more ruthless. She's not chasing love, she's chasing aliveness. The social contagion that pushes her over the edge. Then come the accomplices. Divorced friends, empowered women, wine nights disguised as healing sessions. They don't stabilize her, they radicalize her, they feed her a narrative. You deserve more. Life is short. You shouldn't settle. You're being held back. Every responsibility becomes oppression. Every compromise becomes sacrifice. Every marriage becomes a prison. And social media finishes the job. Transformation reels, starting over fantasies, filtered happiness. She compares her real life to curated illusions, and reality loses every time. The history rewrite when she finally leaves, something chilling happens. She rewrites the entire marriage. We were never happy. I was pretending. He was controlling. I felt trapped. Not because it's true, but because she needs justification. Because admitting she destroyed a good life for a feeling would shatter her self-image. So you become the villain. She becomes the hero. And the story is rewritten to survive the guilt. The collateral damage society ignores the children. The instability, the emotional wreckage. No one applauds the man explaining to his kids why mom lives elsewhere now. No one celebrates fractured families. No one counts the years of confusion and resentment. But she's praised, brave, strong, living her truth, for choosing ego over family. The final truth men must accept: this is not about you failing. It's about her refusing to accept aging limitation reality. You didn't lose her to a better man. You lost her to panic. And panic destroys everything it touches. Once you understand this, something changes. You stop begging, you stop chasing, you stop competing with novelty. And you start protecting your dignity. Because the most dangerous woman in the world is not a young temptress. It's a woman who believes youth is slipping away and destruction is the cure. If you find this message helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next video.